Hi, today we're going to spend a bookish day together, and it's going to start with me going to the market to actually just buy some fruits and vegetables and some fresh tea. We're out of milky oolong, so we're going to buy some of that and probably also the rose leaves. They're not super tasty, but they look nice. We're probably also going to go to the bookstore. So I did go a few days ago. So I think they won't have that many new books, but I haven't looked for the correspondent. So I want to look for that one and see how much it costs. And I also want to look for More Days at the Morosaki Bookshop, which I've been looking for that book for so long, and I should just ask them to order it, but I want to come in the store and be like, oh, they got it. That's nice. So I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, but at some point I do have to buy it because I'm gonna forget what the first book was about, and then it's gonna be less fun to continue the series. Oh, I might go shopping a little bit today, but we are reading books and listening to audiobooks, so I promise it won't just be me shopping, it will also be me reading books. When we got to the market, we were both quite hungry, so we decided to get some fries, and they actually had my favorite, the really thick ones. And then we deserved another snack, so we got a cookie, went to this store where they have a bunch of games, and also a Jellycat station with a bunch of different Jellycats. It's at the stairs, and it's really smart that they put a net but underneath the stairs, because I will admit that I did drop a Jellycat before and had to retrieve it from the net. Then next up, we decided to go to a kind of fair trade store, I guess, and they have these handcrafted little duckies. And a friend of mine really likes ducks, so I got one for her and a little bee for my mom because she likes those, and also a present for my mother-in-law. Hi, we're back from the market. First thing first, I got a little Jellycat. It's such a little cutie. I did spill some water on him, so he needs to dry up a little bit. But I think Jellycats are so cute. The little smiley face and the feet. I think this is called a clover. You have a clover with 4 leaves and that brings luck. But I always like the clover with 3 leaves because, I don't know, I just feel like it's such a cute little vibe. And he has a little tail. I mean, it's like a stem, I guess, but it's so cute. 30 euros. I wasn't actually planning on buying it because I'm like, that's too much money. But my boyfriend was just like, he's cute, just get him. So I did. Oh, I love this guy. He's so cute. Then we got 3 different bags of tea. We wanted milky oolong, but they didn't have it, but they had something similar, so we just got a little bag. Then we went to a store to get a present for my mother-in-law, for his mom. They also had these 2 things, cocos milk and curry. We wanted to make curry, but we had to go to the supermarket just to get these 2 things, but they had it there, so that was nice. And then we got a whole bag full of vegetables. This guy, potatoes, a cookie. It was actually a really good cookie. We just didn't have a paper to put it in, and yeah. A whole bag of these peas. Then we got some chili pepper. We got a few, and we have, ooh, doesn't look great, but the rest of it does. Just bell pepper, and then the rest of the bag is tauge. I'm happiest with this little guy. I think if I'm gonna get another one, it needs to be pink, because then I want it to be pink and green. That's the vibe. But let me put this one with the rest. So I didn't actually end up going to the bookstore because I had a blister on my foot and I really wanted to go home. Recently, I ordered some books on Vinted, and this seller had 5, so I thought, that's nice. And she was selling it for 10 euros for 5 books. 10 euros, that's insane. I was so happy to have found it because I was checking Vinted every day, Let's just be honest. I was checking it every day. A lot of it was for clothes, but I was also checking certain books, Curse of the Wolf King and this series. And most people had it up there for like 30 or 40 euros. So when I saw 10 euros, I was like, I need to jump on that. I need to be quick. I've read the first 4 books and I really enjoyed them, especially the first 2 were just very cute and funny, and I was like laughing, giggling. I don't know, it was just very adorable. And then the third, and especially the fourth one, it got a bit more serious. There were mentions of eating disorders and stuff like that. And I do think that it's done in a good way and it's good that it's talked about. I just, because of the first 2 books, I was just in a vibe of like, oh, it's so cute. And then it went to a bit more serious. And I liked it. It just, I wasn't necessarily expecting it, but I do think it's good. And they handle it in such a good way. Also, obviously, I didn't let me talk about what this is actually about. It's these 2 boys that go to high school together, and one of them is out as a gay person, and he used to get bullied a lot because of it, but now that's settled down a bit and he has like friends around him and it's better. And then there's this other guy who didn't realize he had feelings for men, but he's starting to realize that. And yeah, I think it's a very cute book. I think this is also good for people in high school that, you know, might be going through this phase where they don't know if they are maybe gay or bi or whatever else there is out there. And it's kind of nice to discover it in this way, I think, because it's handled very nicely. They do talk about him getting bullied, and I think that that's good. It's not good that he's being bullied, but it's good that they do mention that it's not always easy to come out, but that if you have like some nice friends, then maybe you can start with telling them. And you know, you don't have to tell everyone. It's not, you're not obligated to out yourself or something. You can just be yourself, and then it doesn't have to be this big thing. I mean, it can be if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to. You can just exist and go through life. You don't owe it to anybody to come out to them, you know? And they mentioned that, and that's just very good. I really enjoyed it, and there were just like such cute moments, and he is a little bit of an overthinker and a bit anxious, and I don't know, it's very adorable, and I really like the series. So what I want to do right now is actually read the 5th one. The thing is, if you read the first one, make sure you already own the second one. Because if you read the first one, like that ending, I'm happy I had the second one because I immediately picked it up and read the whole thing. I'll start reading now. Let me do that. I also forgot to mention it's a graphic novel, so that's why I was able to like read 2 in one day. I wouldn't have been able to do that if this was a normal book. 2 in a day, I would not have been able to do that, but it's graphic novels, so that's why it goes a bit faster. Now, okay, I'm thinking I actually gave the 4th book a 4-star on Goodreads instead of a 5-star, but I feel like that's unfair because it was worth a 5-star, because this is actually, it's really good, and it's good that they're getting to like actual subjects and actual like mental health stuff, and that's really good that they're mentioning that. I think when I was reading the 4th book, I just was hoping for giggly funny vibes. But it can't always be giggly funny vibes. Sometimes there's health stuff that gets in the way and you need to have a mental health day or whatever. And they're representing that. And that's good. And I'm really enjoying this one. he's kind of realizing that his friends are nice, but like he doesn't have anybody he can actually talk to. I just finished the fifth Heartstopper book, and it was really good. I do really appreciate that this one didn't have like an ending where I'm like, oh, I need to read the like sixth book. It's fine to leave it here for now. If I can get my hands on like the six and seven and I don't know how many books there are, I will want to. I definitely want to continue this series. But for now, I do feel like this is a good place to kind of leave it. And then when I can, I'll get to the other ones. But I don't have the money to keep buying new books. I mean, I just bought this little guy and he was kind of expensive, but he's a little cutie patootie. But yeah, I can't keep buying everything I want. That's not how life works, sadly. So I'll get to the other books when I see them at a secondhand store and they're like €2 or €5 or whatever. Then I'll get to them. I think it's gonna be a 4.75, just a 5 star. I can just say this whole series is a 5 star series. These graphic novels, they're just really good, and there's like some good representation of a lot of different things, like sexuality, mental health, and eating disorders, and that kind of stuff is mentioned as well. It's very good, and I think for somebody starting high school, these would be great books. I mean, also whatever other age, like I love them, and I'm 25, so if you're like 45, you might also love these books, but I feel like for teenagers, this might be a good moment to realize like there's a lot of different people out there, and sometimes it's good to talk about things and not to just keep them to yourself. But I mean, I guess think about who you talk to. Hopefully you have a friend that you trust enough to be able to have conversations with about whatever way you're feeling or what you're dealing with. And I think that these books are very good to kind of realize that, maybe. But other than that, it's also just a really cute and nice book to have read. I loved it, and I would definitely recommend this whole series. I think for now I'm just going to continue Heart the Lover, and I'll tell you how I feel about it. I have already listened to Writers and Lovers. Somebody said it was supposed to be the book before this one, that they're interconnected standalones. Are they? I don't know, actually, because right now, like, I'm 20% into it, I think. I'm not recognizing any names that they're, like, similar, so I don't know. But maybe, like, towards the middle or the end of this book, people that were in the first book will get mentioned. We'll see. Writers and Lovers was pretty good. It was just not super memorable, but to be honest, I actually already forgot. I don't know their names. I do know what the plot, like what it was about. I also forgot their names. Maybe I'm just not good with names. That could be. I mean, Heartstopper, Charlie, Nick. So I do know some names. When I'm reading it, after a few pages, I'm like, oh, right, this is what it's about. And then I really enjoy it, and I think the writing style is nice. But then once I put it away, it's like, what was the book about? Couldn't tell you. No idea. And that's crazy, because that's the same feeling I had with the audiobook, that while listening to it, I was like, oh, this is a great story. I like it. I want to know what happens next. I put it out. I go do something else, and I'm like, what is the story about? What was happening? Don't know. I'll start reading, and then I will probably remember what it was about, and I'll tell you. I'm gonna take a quick nap. I'm so tired. And then I'll continue reading Heart the Lover. I have gone quite a bit further into Heart the Lover, I took a nap of like 3 hours and then we had dinner. It was really good dinner. My boyfriend knows how to cook, so that's nice. But then, once I was a bit more awake, I continued Heart the Lover and I am further into it. I'm at the start of part 3. So I'm at page 159. And when I started reading, I was at page 74. So I read quite a bit. Here's the thing, I am so bad with names. I have listened to the audio of Writers and Lovers before this book. I kept reading and I'm like, how are they interconnected? What's going to happen? At some point, can I say this? Is it a spoiler? Skip like 5 seconds. At some point, she has a child, and I'm like, is that the female main character of Writers and Lovers? No, it's not. No, no. In this book, in Heart the Lover, the female main character is called Jordan, but in Writers and Lovers, she's called Casey, I think. Maybe she is called Jordan and I just forgot, because the thing is, at the end of Writers and Lovers, she ends up with a guy. I'm not going to say his name because that would be a spoiler. But in this book, it's like, oh, a few years later, and she's with this man. I did not recognize his name. I was like, who is this? And I had to look up on internet, like, why are they interconnected? What's happening? It's literally the same person. It's like just a few years later. Yeah. And the thing is, I listened to the audiobook like a few days ago. But okay, my review on Goodreads is like, I liked it. I just think I'm going to forget what the book is about. It went quicker than I thought. I thought I would at least remember for like a few months, but a few days later, and I totally forgot the name of the female main character and the male main character and everyone. And anyway, same person. So that's how they're connected. Actually, you should read Heart the Lover, part 1. Then you should read Writers and Lovers. And then part 2 and part 3 of this book, if you want to do it in chronological order. But you really don't have to think about which book you're going to read first. Nah, actually, probably read Writers and Lovers first, because that's like at the end of the book, you know who she ends up with. And then in this book, it's just she's with that person. So probably read Writers and Lovers first. But honestly, you don't have to. It's fine either way. I am really liking it so far. I think the writing is very good. And have I really said what it's about? In the first part, they are at college and it's basically her love life and how she's with this guy called Sam. But I think he's not a nice guy. Like, he doesn't really care about Jordan. And then he has this friend called Jash, and they were so nice together. Every time she was over at Sam's house and he wasn't there yet and Jash was, they were just hanging out. And in the morning, if Sam went to church, then she and Jash would like make breakfast together and hang out. And they just seem so good together. And he seems more like free spirited. They seem like a good fit. This book is making me realize even more like how important it is to, like, some people live to work and some people work to live. And I want to work to live. You know, I don't want my work to be everything I have. I don't I don't want it to be like when you meet people for the first time and it's like, "Oh, so who are you?" And then the first thing you say is your job. My job is not who I am. No, no. Maybe it could be if I made my hobby into my job, but then that kind of makes you have to be creative because I like being creative. But if I have to be, then it takes away the fun. So I don't think I necessarily, well, maybe one day I can be a booktuber and that could be my job. That would be the dream. But I think it's unhealthy to have a job you don't actually really like that much, you don't enjoy, you think it's boring, you think it's annoying, but you spend all your time on that job and then you're tired when you come home. And I mean, I understand that everybody's in a different position in life. So Like, at some point, you might have to do that. And otherwise, you're not gonna have enough money to live. And that's just so sad. I wish we just all didn't have to have jobs. We could all just do what we liked. I mean, somebody likes farming, somebody likes plumbing. We can just, work together and not work, but work, you know what I mean? My whole point being, I hope that when I'm older, I'm working to live and I'm not living to work. And I hope that for everyone. And you know what? That's what I'm going to leave you with, because I'm going to watch some television and I'm probably not going to read that much anymore. Anyway, that was my bookish day, and I ended up going to the market, buying a jelly cat, finishing a series, Heartstopper, or not finishing, but finishing the books I have at home, and also reading quite a bit in Heart the Lover. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this day. And if you have any other ideas you'd like to see me do in a video format, then let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye!